Hello, I'm excited to explore and celebrate with you how people with impairments use tools and techniques to overcome their learning environment disabilities. We'll discuss the challenges, tools, and empathy opportunities of four common impairments, followed by a personal case. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. A person with visual disabilities has several challenges. Written text or images on presentations may be difficult or impossible to visualize. Differences in color perception may make graphs or charts confusing. Videos might be hard or impossible to see. People with visual disabilities use tools like screen magnifiers to accentuate digital or real world artifacts. They use screen readers to convert text to speech or navigate websites. They use audio descriptions to understand video content and audiobooks to comprehend text. I feel a great empathy towards people with visual impairments and disabilities. I'm touched by the stories of students who struggle to carry devices through which they interact with the visual world. I feel the frustration of younger students with vision impairments who I've seen labeled as behaviorally challenged when frustration about vision issues surfaces in the classroom. People with auditory impairments experience similar challenges. It may be difficult for learners to hear lectures or video. Communicating with peers in group work due to hearing and accompanying verbal impairments can be challenging. They use a variety of tools and techniques for their learning. They use cochlear implants to amplify sound, transmitter systems for hearing speakers at distance, and captions that provide visual text to accompany audio. People with these impairments also utilize human resources such as sign language interpreters or note taking assistants to help them learn in live lecture settings. I empathize with the struggles that people with auditory impairments undergo in daily life and learning. It must be frustrating having to ask people to repeat themselves, speak louder, or use an assistive device. It must reduce one's sense of agency to rely upon others for sign language interpretation or captioning. I have a very mild form of hearing loss myself, and even that slight degree of loss is often frustrating for me and the people around me. I'm familiar with how people with physical impairments experience multiple challenges in our able focused learning environments. Many people with poor muscle control struggle to speak, write text, interface with computer software, and access learning spaces. They often experience a stigma of looking different than others and experience the prejudice that their outward appearance and disability has others presuming about them. People with physical impairments use a range of tools to help them interact with their world. They use adapted control and input devices for technology, such as switches and eye gaze tracking. They use software that converts speech to text, as well as word predictor apps to facilitate faster composing. ADA access to building is helping wheelchair users access spaces, but much work is still needed. I have empathy for how people with physical disabilities struggle to express their desires, their preferences, and their discomforts. Their disability is frustratingly visible, often making them seem less capable than they are. They endure access issues, where a curb or uneven surface can be an insurmountable barrier. Finally, I empathize for how physically demanding navigating daily life is for those with physical impairments. I have respect for the challenges that people with cognitive impairments experience. They can be challenged to read, write, comprehend, or focus on learning artifacts. Their disability can feel invisible, and they can feel stigmatized by their inability to comprehend or focus on what comes easily to others. I have used several tools and techniques that assist those with cognitive impairments. Software that converts text to speech and the reverse, focus apps that restrict screen text to small passages, predictors that facilitate faster composition, scanners that convert printed text to digital artifacts, and accommodations of time or level of content that allow users of different cognitive ability to be successful. I empathize with people with cognitive disabilities and their struggles to understand and be understood in a world where their impairments are less evident than others. I empathize with how frustrating it must be to lack focus in a world of simulation and sensory input. I feel for people with cognitive impairments who experience uncertainty or dependence in their future or their life outcomes. Koren is one of my three sons, a person with cerebral palsy due to prematurity. He's a bright and happy young man who loves being the center of attention. He has three of the four categories of impairments described in this video. He has very low vision, severe cognitive impairments coupled with an inability to speak, and a physical impairment giving him little or no functional control over his limbs. He is regularly challenged to effectively express his desires in a world of dependence on others for feeding, toileting, entertainment, etc. Koren lives in a world of extreme accommodation. We help him accommodate for his visual impairment using a high contrast television display. We help him communicate via a yes-no board system. He's learned personal adaptive techniques such as smiling for yes to help others understand his needs. We help him learn through verbal engagement to bypass his visual and motor difficulties and format his learning around his immediate interests and desires. He lives in a world where he will continue to be completely dependent on others, and managing that world in an appropriate way is his biggest challenge. Nonetheless, he is a wonderful young man through accommodations and adaptations can learn to the best of his ability. Thank you for joining me on this exploration and celebration of people with impairments, and thank you for spending time learning how the challenges, tools, and empathy required of such individuals can help prevent impairments from causing undue disabilities in their learning and living.